Okay, so I've got a MEC 500 ATA singles and doubles. This machine, not really sure why it started doing it, but what happens is this arm falls in between underneath the turret. I guess there's a couple of studs that this catches on to advance the turret. Well, this will fall in between, and when it does, I'm going to push up on this advancer arm. What happens is it jams up against this railing here, and that causes a whole lot of other problems, and we'll come to more detail on that. I'll come back to this. But what happens then, in order to release this, you have to pull out this nut or reverse the motor, and I don't really want to reverse the motor because I don't know how jammed it is. So I was pulling out this bolt, and it is under a lot of tension here, which could eventually break this weld or just cause a whole bunch of other problems. So what I did, and I'll come back to that because this is actually the original one right here. And it's about 17.5 inches long. That's important. I'll come back to that as well. But what I ended up doing was on this spring, and I may redo this, maybe weld or make a little finger that comes out here that catches underneath on that turret so it won't fall back into here and get jammed. But what I did was I made this is just a 2.6 OD, and it's 2.325 in length, and I'll insert this in the spring here, and I'll do that and come back and show you what it's doing now. Okay, so I put the that little rod in the spring, and what that does for me now is you'll notice then when I advance this arm up here, it touches right on that front edge, so that no matter what happens here, may get a missed target, but no matter what happens, this arm rolls, and so it never goes back to the left of this little peninsula, if you will. It never goes back into here, and it prevents it from jamming. Okay, so that fixed that issue. So now what I came into, I need to reassemble the turret and show you what happens here, because that's why, number one, I made and changed that to be more of a turnbuckle. I'll talk more about that in just a moment, but that allows me to advance this out a little bit, and I'll come back to that in just a moment. All right, now putting the turret back on, and we have our advancer arm at 17.5 inches. What happens is you'll notice that as this goes through its cycle, it's going to be a little bit off, and that's because I've had that arm extend down or have that spacer in there. So what I need to do is adjust my turnbuckle to push this in about 3/8 of an inch. Otherwise, it'll hit the targets and break. Ordinarily, if everything was synchronized, it would land right about there. It would never interfere with the targets. But because of this adjustment, and again, I'll probably be making some more later to correct this issue, but I just want to get shooting today. What I'll do is I'll adjust the turnbuckle, and I'll come back and show you that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lengthen the turnbuckle, which actually pushes or pulls this up. It's just rotating around in a circle, and it just changes the cycle here a little bit. So I'm going to move that up just a little bit. All right, so now I've expanded, basically, instead of 17.5 inches, I moved it out about 3/8, so it's just under 18 inches. And that moves this arm out of the way for the targets to land. And then you can kind of see it's a pretty close, but there's probably there's enough gap there. There's maybe an 1/8 of an inch gap. And then I'll have to just monitor in case if I did get breaking targets, I may need to adjust it just a little bit more. So that corrected this issue. Now over to here. So on the turnbuckle, what I made here was, again, if it ever jams, it gives me the option to adjust this turnbuckle in, taking the tension off this motor. versus, you know, trying to unscrew this bolt under a whole lot of tension. That's just dangerous, first of all. Could reverse the motor, but I don't know if the gears are jammed up. You know, I don't know. So I don't want to damage that motor or the gearbox. So I've made this turnbuckle. These are 1.5 inches. So the threads, you got left-hand, right-hand threads. These are the right-hand threads, but they go in about 1 inch, but I made it 1.5 inches. And then in here, this is just empty space drilled out, 1/2 inch. So if I did need to, you know, take the tension off in these, and this is a left-hand thread over here. If I did need to, then I'd have plenty of space for these to move in and be able to take the tension off this advance. Now, when you do this, these connectors are going to be a little bit out of sync. This is thicker. So you'll notice here, I took the bolt off, the nut off, that raised this to right about where it is. But remember, this is thicker, so it'd be sitting down lower if you had the original advancer push arm back on there. So all I did was I just got one thick washer and then used the washer that was here, and that gave me exactly right about where it was before. Other than that, these are, I went ahead and moved these in. It's about 1.25 inches. I screwed them in about 1 inch. And then on the weld, what I did here, in order to get these guys back lined up, you know, you're tempted to just cut it. But what I did was I sort of made a insert or recessed area on the outer edge and then on the inner edge. And that left me then with just, I was able to control then the gap between these, so that then I just do a stick weld, and I just did a stick weld around here with that groove in there to help me get these in. And then I just turned it down on my lathe to clean up the weld there a little bit, and then had some Hemi orange and painted it Hemi orange. But anyway, hopefully this helps. It's a great machine. I love it. I love shooting doubles, and so I really need, my understanding is the MEC guy told me that I don't think they make these anymore. So you know, I want to make this work, and this is what I came up with. Thanks. Good luck to you.